Well, welcome to another edition of our 76 Capital Leadership Series. My name is Wayne Kimmel, Managing Partner of 76 Capital and the host of our 76 Capital Leadership Series. Really exciting show today. We are bringing on Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler is an NFL wide receiver and also client of Rubicon Talent. We'll talk about that as well. There's Hakeem on the screen right there. His Twitter handle is 410Keem. Follow him there. And we are going to have a great conversation about all the things that he does. He's a wide receiver with the Arizona Cardinals. This is going to be it'll be his second season. He was drafted in the 2019 draft out of Iowa State, and is somebody that you're going to want to follow. And I'll tell you, this guy is going to be one of those wide receivers that you want to see in the future. And man, he's got some great players that he's playing with on that team. I mean, he gets Kyler Murray as his quarterback. He's got other, Larry Fitzgerald he gets to work with, and now DeAndre Hopkins. So pretty special. Some really great people on the team at the Arizona Cardinals that you're going to keep an eye out on him this season. And also, from a business perspective, he's got, Kelvin Beachum on that team as well, who's done a lot of things within the venture world. Many of us in the sports venture world know the things that he's done, and he's another really good player on the Arizona Cardinals. So hopefully football comes back and we're going to get to see Hakeem and the team really play, this season. Our 76 Capital Leadership Series is all about bringing on leaders in the sports industry. It's sports business leaders, it's athletes, it's people that are focused on thinking about what are the next things in and around sports and business. And it's really been a great series that we've done so far this year. You can follow me at Wayne Kimmel anywhere on the internet, as well as please keep an eye on all of our shows, because what we're trying to do is bring you the leaders in the sports industry and share with you what is happening out there. And this is, you'll see on the screen right now, this is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find all the shows that we do across our 76 Capital Leadership Series. But we are looking for you as an entrepreneur, someone who's trying to do the next thing in sports, whether that's in sports tech, esports, sports betting. If you're trying to push the limits and try to do the next thing, please reach out to us, whether that's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And of course, as we said earlier, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is a great place for you to find and see all the great leaders in and across the sports industry. So today, without a further ado, we're going to bring on Hakeem Butler. Extremely excited to have you join our show. Thanks a lot for joining, Hakeem.
No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Really excited to have you on the show. And, one of the big things that we do on our 76 Capital Leadership Series is to have our guests share their story. I mean, everyone knows you as, one of the top draft picks in the 2019 draft as a wide receiver, with all this great talent coming out of Iowa State. But, and this year, as we said earlier, going to get a chance to play with some really great other players on the Arizona Cardinals. But we'd love to, before we get into all that, love to hear your story. So love to hear where you grew up, what kind of things that you liked, what sports you played during your high school career, and go all the way back to the beginning to Maryland would be great.
Well, all the way back to the beginning. I guess I'll start in Baltimore. Born and raised in Baltimore. Single mother. I was raised by my mother. Single mother, Cheryl Ford, strong woman. I had a younger brother and an older sister, Khalil and Amber. Those two are like everything to me. Growing up, basketball was definitely the most easily accessible thing in Baltimore. You can play basketball anywhere in any weather. And so that was a big thing for everyone. But I used to foul too much. I fouled out a lot. Like it was crazy when I was younger. So my mom said, we're going to try something else. And she put me into football. And honestly, that didn't work out either. It was just too much running for me. So I just wasn't even, dealing with it. So kind of just got into video games, really played a lot of video games. And but I still played football, in the neighborhood. And it was still a passion of mine. I just, had to find the right team and get my mind right to actually get into it. And so, middle school played. After my mom passed away when I was, I think, 14 years old or 15, I moved to Houston where they take sports a lot more serious. And I think that was a big thing for me. So when I got to Houston, my brothers, I got adopted by my uncle and my brothers there. They were big basketball stars, and so kind of got back into basketball. But football just always, stuck with me, was my passion, and I just always had a vision for what I could be. Growing up watching Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson, I'm just like, I think I can do that. I can try and be something like that. And so I kind of just got into it, and at that school, in Texas, they take it very seriously. Yeah, there's a picture of me, young Keem, right there. um, yeah, just took it very seriously, and I mean, Iowa State came along and offered a kid who didn't have a lot of offers at the time. They took a chance on me, and it was just, yeah. I mean, the rest is history. Got to Iowa State, redshirted, and from there, just a lot of hard work and long days and long nights got me to the position I'm in now.
It was such an amazing story, and the fact that you were able to really, look really tough. Losing your mom, having to move to Houston, and you talked about your cousins. That's Aaron and Andrew Harrison, correct?
Yeah.
And they're pretty good basketball players, to say the least, right?
They're all right. I mean, they're all right. Nothing special.
I mean, their time at Kentucky was pretty special. What's the age difference between you guys?
I think maybe like a year and a half. I think so. Yeah.
So you guys were in college pretty much the same times.
Yeah. Well, they were in school like 2 years, and so once I got there, they were gone. So yeah.
Right. They were. I mean, when they were, it must have been incredible to watch those guys when you were still in high school, right? And they were playing in Kentucky. I mean, they were the top of the country.
Absolutely. I mean, they were always just like regular people to me. Just like, I mean, they're my brothers, like, for what it's worth. And I mean, I never really saw them as superstars, but just seeing them on that stage, we've been to the national championship. I watched them play, I watched them fight, I watched them win, I watched them lose, and just seeing their growth through all of it it's kind of amazing to me. And I mean, I really appreciate them for everything they've done for me.
Well, I'd love to hear. So was there any some backyard battles between the three of you? Was it basketball or football, or how did that go?
Me and my younger brother, my brother Khalil, we used to help them work out because, I mean, they're like, I'm pretty good at basketball. My little brother's better than me, but those two are just like levels above. I mean, they're levels above a lot of people. And so we used to help them work out, and like they would beat us. Like, it would be me and my little brother versus like Aaron, and he would beat us 2-on-1, and we're just like, there's nothing we can do about this. Like, he's winning 2-on-1 right now. Like, he's got it, man. Go ahead.
What any 2-on-2 football games?
Oh no, they always, they thought they were good at football, but no, they didn't want to do that with me. Video games was a big thing we always fought about because I used to just beat everybody, and then it turned into a huge fight because they would say I was cheating.
Well, what was the game you got? What kind of games?
2K, Madden. We still fight in Madden today. That's really the big thing. Sports games, we're gonna go back and forth all day.
That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're still playing today against
100%. I think I just saw him in Houston maybe 2 weeks ago and played him in Madden, and I had to give him some humble pie and show him that I know what I'm doing and they don't.
Have you played in any of the? Are you thinking about some of the sometimes the NFL is doing some Madden tournaments, things like that? Have you ever done any of those tournaments yet?
I'll watch them. I would love to enter one day, but I'm always, when I'm ready to come out and show what I can do, I want to show, I want to be the best. So if I'm jumping in, I'm ready to win. And I mean, this year's Madden, I wasn't really that locked in. So next year we're gonna try a little better, and we're gonna go to get into it.
Well, we should talk about that, and I could certainly help you with that, and certainly really excited to have Hakeem Butler as our guest on our 76 Capital Leadership Series. Hakeem is a wide receiver right now with the Arizona Cardinals, and just love to, before we get to that part of your story, I'd love to hear some of the stories of you said you redshirted your first year at Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
in a way, it's like your professional career is going that direction. It's almost like last year was a red shirt, with the Cardinals. But what was that like, having to red shirt? I mean, being such a top level player in high school and then coming onto campus and having to sit for a year?
It was definitely tough at first. I would say it was tough at first, just because everybody coming from wherever they come from all over the country, you're the best player at your school. You're the best player maybe in your state. Who knows what it is. And so I got there and I wasn't really aware, that everyone was the best at their school or team captain or whatever it may be. And so when I finally, I got there and I got to school, I was 6'6", 175, 80 pounds. And we had linebackers that was like 6'6", 240, 250. And so I'm like, nah, like, I'm physically, I knew I wasn't ready, but the competitor in me was like, would still go out there and fight no matter what. And so at first, they first redshirted. It was hard mentally, just like, you want to play. The competitor in you wants to play. I want to fight. I want to win. I want to lose. I want to be a part of the team. But I realized that it was probably the best thing for me. I got a chance to sit, learn, and I think that actually propelled me to be a better player. I believe if I played that first year, I might not have, mentally been in the right spot, going to the next 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, redshirting, it is what it is. You have to take it as it comes and just accept what's going on. And like you said, my last year with the Cardinals was definitely a redshirt year in my eyes. And I learned a lot. Physically got a lot stronger, faster, better. And I mean, this year I feel like I'm coming back ready to rock.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, there was a picture on the screen of you, with one of your unbelievable catches in your career at Iowa State. I mean, just there's another one right here. But what was, how did you, you're playing against some of the top teams in the country. This is against Oklahoma here. What did you sort of think about when you're out there trying to playing against the best? What was in it from your mindset to go out there, and what were you thinking about each time you went out on the field?
Honestly, I mean, first thing I would do, I would definitely I'd get on a knee, talk to my mom, and just look up and just tell her to just look over me, look over my teammates, look over the other team. Just make sure that everyone's in good health, because that's always the number one thing for me. Secondly, I would call my brother before every game, just to talk, just talk. Like, whenever we talk about ball, he's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't care about that game. Like, whatever happens, happens." And then, I would say before I go out, just get hype, get really hype and just have fun. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I'm just trying to have fun. And I mean, playing against the good teams were a lot easier than playing against, the bad teams, because I always wanted to prove myself, because I felt like I was looked over by all those good teams. And so, to get out there and just go against those teams, it really didn't take much for me to get up and go get it. And I mean, that's where I'm at now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so when you're lining up, as a wide receiver, and you're looking at that defensive back, and you're thinking about where you're going to go. Like, what's that right before the snap? Like, what are you thinking about? Like, what's the battle that's about to happen between you and that defensive back? What are you thinking about there?
Time is so slow in that moment. I mean, it's probably maybe like 5-6 seconds before it snaps, but it seems like it's a minute or two. I see like lines on the field of what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go. And then I try and look the dude right in his eyes and just smile at him just before we go off, like before the ball snapped. And I think people don't really like that when you smile at them. It's like people don't really like that. They think you know something. And I'm like, bro, I don't know nothing. I'm just finna run my route. I'm happy to be here. But you smile at them and they look at you. And from there, it's just all about taking off and technique.
So it's a little bit of the mental game right there as well, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Michael Jordan is like the greatest competitor and athlete and everything in my mind. And the mental game that he played, just learning from this last documentary of his, seeing I'm trying to implement stuff like that now. But before I knew a lot about Michael Jordan. And so I feel like the mental game was always something that I tried to play first.
That's fascinating. I mean, you think about that, so many people look at the game and they just watch and they say the receivers just physically able to just, get open or run a better route, but it's really about, thinking. The mental side of it is such a big part of it all. Is that something that you've worked on over the years? Have you had a coach or somebody that's really helped you with that? Or is that something that you picked up on your own?
I would say it's something I definitely picked up on my own, because for a while, I think that was a part of the redshirt year. Mentally, I had to grow, and I realized that we had a lot of good players on my team at my time at Iowa State, but they never mentally were in the correct spot to, like, go out there and get it, whether it was like mental preparation or just like their mentality. And I would say that's just like a huge thing. Like, I'm always out there just thinking about the next move and just how I can win. And I mean, that's just, I don't even know. Like, the game is mostly mental in my eyes. If I see it, I can do it.
That's amazing. It's amazing. When you're in the heat of battle, I guess, or in the middle of a route, and you're out there, and and do you feel like is it? Are you thinking at that point, or is it you've practiced so much, you just know what you're going to do, and it just sort of happens? Or how does that? What's that feeling like in the middle of that? So a lot of people just have never been in that situation. So
no, I definitely understand, but honestly, we practice it so much, it kind of just happens. Like, I watch my highlights from college sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't even know how that like happened. Like, in the moment, like, you get in that zone, it just takes over, and then at the end of the game, you come out and it's just like, what the hell did I just do?
That's awesome. That's amazing. I mean, so you had an incredible career at Iowa State. Really, ranked as one of the best receivers in the class. Coming out, then you have to get ready for the NFL draft. What was that process like? Your spring semester in college. Like, what happened next? Your season ends, and then it's time to get ready for the NFL draft. What did you do?
Well, after the season, I mean, I was still going back and forth to whether I was going back to school or not. But after the season, I had graduated, because I had already planned on, like, I told my coach before the season, I was like, coach, like, I want to go to the league no matter what happens, no matter how the season goes. I just put that pressure on myself, and I put it on the people around me. And I told my advisor, and she was like, well, if you're leaving, I want you to get your degree. And I'm like, okay. So she loaded me up on 19 credits and stood by me for the season, because, my coaches, they were like, we don't know if he can handle 19 and, like, be the best player in the country. And I was like, coach, like, don't worry about it. I got it. And so my advisor, she definitely helped me. She talked my coaches off the ledge a lot of times. They were like, no, like, we can't let him do this. But she stood by me. So took 19 credits, graduated. And then from there, had to find an agent and went straight to Florida to start training. And I mean, combine training was probably the funnest time of my life. I don't have any worries at all, just to wake up and go work out and just prepare. It was the most fun and the most stressful at the same time, because at that point, there's nothing you can really do to sway anybody's mind one way or another about how they feel about you. Everything you've done is what you've done. You can't change it. And going into the combine is your last game or showcase or whatever you want to call it. And so went there, felt like I had a great day. And from there, it was in somebody else's hands.
Amazing. We're joined here on our 76 Capital Leadership Series with Hakeem Butler, wide receiver with the Arizona Cardinals. He's been sharing with us his path to the NFL. We're talking about the NFL draft right now. And within that NFL draft process, you mentioned you brought on an agent, and then you have a marketing agency in Rubicon Talent. How did you meet Dave and Evan and the team at Rubicon?
Well, it's kind of crazy. Dave came in with another agent that was, I guess, recruiting me, or, that was trying to sign me. And he gave his spiel or his speech or whatever you want to call it. And honestly, like, my family was in the room and we were all like blown away. And I was like, I don't know about the agent, like, I really like the agent, but I was like, but we got to have that guy right there. So we gotta call him. Yeah, there's his ugly mug right there. But I said we gotta get him, and from there, Dave has definitely been best marketing guy in the country. And my guy Evan, I met later on. He's a cool little dude, and he definitely, I love that man.
It's great to hear. You hear some real, crazy stories about agents and marketing people, but the experience that you talk about that you've had with the team at Rubicon is very similar to the type of relationship and that we have at 76 Capital with them. They're a great strategic partner of ours, and they're the kind of guys that their word is. When they tell you something, they're good for it, right? I mean, I think that's one of the things that is really important in business and in life, that you get yourself with the right kinds of people. And I'm excited to hear that things are going well with you and the team. And what are some of the things that you've done so far with Rubicon? Have there been certain different types of things that you guys have done together in the marketing world?
Oh man, Dave, like I said, he's the best marketing guy in the game, but he's got me so many opportunities that I never even dreamed of. Honestly, I was training for the combine, and I think he came to me and was like, "Yeah, Adidas wants to sponsor you," and I'm like, "Me? I'm just a kid from Baltimore, man. Growing up, could barely afford Adidas, but my mom always got it done, and now they want to sponsor me. So, I mean, he got that deal done. We've done so much, I can't even think of anything right now, but it's just." Dave is definitely the man.
That's great. I mean, look, and it's just starting. That's what's so exciting. I mean, so
Absolutely.
you're now, I'd love to talk about the team with the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, you have a heck of a quarterback with Kyler Murray. What's in that relationship that you have with him?
Oh, Kyler's one of the coolest dudes ever. We came in together. We're roommates for a long time. We both snore, so it's like whoever gets to sleep first, is gonna have a better night's sleep. But Kyler, he's a remarkable player, even better guy, and I mean, rookie of the year. So I mean, we're just gonna see where he builds on from there. I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's it like playing with him? I mean, have the other quarterbacks that you've played with in your life? I mean, what's the difference between him and some of the other quarterbacks that you've had?
No offense to anybody that's been my quarterback before, but he's by far the best quarterback I've ever played with. Head and shoulders above everyone else. And I mean, hopefully, I'm with him for the rest of my career, however long that may be. But the kid is special. He throws a great ball. He's smart, but his passing ability is just it's the best I've ever seen, honestly. In person, it's just the best I've ever seen.
What makes him that special? I mean, so he's really passionate about the playing. I mean, is it that he's smart? What when he's out there, as a leader of the team, what's the thing that makes him so special?
I think it's all of that. I mean, the kid is naturally a winner. We both grew up in Texas in a way, but I mean, he's lived his whole life in Texas. But everyone in Texas knows Kyler. I mean, his school is hours away from mine, but I think it was maybe 3 or 4 games into the season, and people are like, "Bro, the kid Kyler Murray has 25 touchdowns in 4 games," and I'm like, "What the hell is going over there in other parts of Texas?" I don't know what's going on. This kid has 25 touchdowns in 4 games, but I mean, the kid is he's great, and he's a gamer, and he wants to win, and I think I love that most about him. You see that this year, see him run into the end zone, running first downs, taking hits, and it's just the kid wants to win, and I love anybody that wants to win as badly as I do.
That's a huge piece of it all, right? I mean, that's incredible. I mean, so, and you also have, on the team this year, last year you had Larry Fitzgerald, and now this year DeAndre Hopkins. What's it like playing with and I guess probably learning from a guy like Fitz? I mean, what's that like?
Well, I mean, Fitz is I don't know how to describe the man. He's the most consistent human being on the planet, I guess. You know what he's gonna bring every day, and you know what he's gonna be every day, and he finds little opportunities to get better every day, and it's just crazy. He does a lot of stuff that just I've never seen before. The way he catches the ball is just unbelievable. The man just doesn't drop passes. he has more tackles than he has drop passes in his career, and the man's been playing for 100 years in the league, so it's kind of crazy.
That's amazing. I mean, it's interesting the way you describe it. It's because a lot of the times on our 76 Capital Leadership Series, we're talking about the business side of sports. We're talking about what it takes to be successful as a business person, that persistence, that drive, that desire, the being able to just sort of get up off the ground after you're sort of been hit and you're down, and being able to get up and make things happen. It sounds like a lot of those same traits are the traits that are really important for you on the football field, as well as a number of the guys on your team.
Oh, I mean, 100%. Like, you have to have all those traits to even get to this level of the game. So, I mean, I would definitely say it's very important.
So, from an off-season perspective, I mean, so you actually, unfortunately, your off-season started early last year. I mean, you did, unfortunately, hurt your hand. Fine. By the way, how you feeling? How's it going?
Oh, I've been 100% for months now, and Corona came in and interrupted everything. I've been ready to get back in that building and just show what I can do. Just confidence-wise, I'm feeling great. Mentally, I think I'm in a great spot, and physically, I think I'm doing amazing. So, I mean, I'm just ready to get back out there and, wreck shop.
That's awesome. So what have you been doing from a workout perspective, during this time? Anything's different or special that you've been able to do to prepare for this year?
I mean, not really. I just like the same thing. I mean, really, it's all like weights and catching, and everyone tries to find something weird to do. But I mean, I feel like just catching the ball every day, have you in the right spot, ready to go. That was probably the big thing for me, just getting the mental right and getting ready to go.
So do you train specifically with some of the players? Do you have like someone who throws to you, or do you use a machine, or how does that work?
Well, it's a couple of different things. I mean, it just depends on the day, the week, and who texts me. I mean, a couple of the guys, we train at a place out here in Arizona called Elite U. They've kept me in shape and ready to go the whole summer. They got me big, they got me fast, and I mean, I'm definitely thankful for those guys. A couple of my teammates train over there. We run routes a lot. It's all about just finding the field now with everything going on. It's just so hard to find somewhere to work out, just because of everybody shutting down or staying 6 feet apart and stuff like that. And so, if that doesn't work, the trainer at LU, he definitely has an arm or a jug machine anywhere.
Right. Well, is there, so, we mentioned, talked a little bit about Larry Fitzgerald this year, DeAndre Hopkins. Have you connected with him and talked with him since he's joined the team?
I definitely got to talk and meet with D-Hop, and he's definitely a cool dude. I think he's gonna bring our group to a whole different level, and I think our team as a whole is just gonna go to a whole different level. I mean, we made great strides last year coming from the worst team in the league, and the results didn't show it because this is like a result-driven like league and world and everything. But we've seen the stats, we've seen the metrics and everything, and we're heading in the right direction. I think it was going to take one or two more pieces just to get us to the place we want to go. And I think we signed more than that this offseason. So I think we'll shock a lot of people this year. And I mean, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, look, you need, you have a great quarterback, but he needs weapons, right? He needs, 100%. And the more, the better. You worry, look, and the crazy thing is that the way the NFL game has evolved is you don't have to really worry about, are you going to get enough touches? Because, I mean, it's literally almost every down you're throwing, right? I mean,
yeah, with our team, I think we might have thrown the most in the league last year, and I mean, plan on coming out and do that again. We got a good running back in KD, but I mean, if it was up to me, he wouldn't get that many touches.
Unless he hand it to him and then he just throws it to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, whatever he wants to do. But yeah, we gotta throw the ball in my eyes.
That's really exciting. I mean, again, to be able to, and I mentioned in sort of in the opening as well, as Kelvin Beachum has also joined your team. Have you got a chance to spend any time with him?
I haven't. I have not got a chance to spend time with him, but a friend of mine trains over at LOP with him, and he told me that the guy signed, and so I went and looked him up, and he's a great player, and to get the O line even better, Kyler doesn't have to run around as much. I think, like I said, a lot of people are going to have to deal with us this year.
Yeah, it's fascinating because again, it's someone who is very cerebral, right? I mean, he's someone that we see from a business perspective in and around the sports industry because he's an investor in the industry. He gets involved. I remember seeing him at a venture capital event during the NBA All-Star game, and he was there with all the startups, and he was in the middle of all that, and he's really done a nice job of getting himself in and around that world, and to have, it sounds like you have a team that you guys are a team of thinkers. And that's,
I would definitely say that.
That's important. I mean, you look at kind of some of the teams that have been really successful over the years. I mean, they're the ones that are doing that, and that's awesome. That's awesome to see. It'd be a great situation for you to be in.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm super excited about the situation, and like I said, God willing, we have this season, have a full season, and I think we're ready to go out there and show it. Like, just do it. Let's do it.
Wow, that's great. That's great. One of the things that we do talk about on our leadership series is also about, has there been a certain person in your life who has really been the driver, the leader? I mean, you talked about your mom, someone who you speak to before every game. Would you say that she's the person in your life that you really think about, and it kind of drives you to go where you need to go in life?
I would say definitely her. My little brother Khalil, he's only like 18 months younger than me, but he's still my little brother. And my oldest sister Amber, because everything I do is just like, it's not to just change my life, but it's like to make the people around me better. I mean, I can have the best life, but if the people around me don't, then then that's worthless. I've done nothing. So I would say everything I do is for my family and just to better the generations after me and my family. And so that's why I play this game. That's why I work so hard. That's why I do what I do.
It's amazing. So I know also in your free time, I guess you sometimes get involved in the fashion industry. I'd love to hear a little bit about some of the things that you're doing around that. Look at that.
Oh yeah, that was in Fashion Week. My guy Todd Snyder, he flew me out, and it was my first ever Fashion Week. And I mean, I love fashion before, but I mean, I've fallen in love with it even more now after that.
Yeah. And so what's the relationship that you have with Todd? How does that work?
My guy Dave again, he finds the connections everywhere. He finds them. Like I never knew Todd, before I graduated college. Just in Iowa, nobody's really talking about fashion. I mean, they're talking about corn and the Cyclones. That's it. But Todd actually graduated from Iowa State, and we made a connection very early. Dave got me up to New York to meet him, and I mean, the rest is history. Todd's just a great guy. He wants to help me in the fashion world, and I mean, I'm ready to do anything.
So what would you like to do in the fashion world? What do you think? Maybe like kind of things that you would potentially get involved with.
I definitely want to start my own streetwear brand at one point, but I think early on, like right now, I kind of just want to learn, get around some creatives, no matter where they may be, and just watch and learn. I think the best people have started out like that, interning on the low, and then working their way up into branching on their own thing.
That's a really, really smart way of handling that. I mean, I think that, so many people, and certainly, one of the things that I'm sure Dave and the team at Rubicon have seen is just a number of athletes that have sort of they jump in, the way you're thinking about it and really, looking at it from a really smart perspective is great. Great. And you mentioned also your love of video games, right? I mean, that's one of the things that we were very involved with on the 76 Capital side of things. Oh, there you go. So we talked about as a kid some of the games you played, but what are some of the things that you do now? Is the is that are you a console player, or are you a?
Oh, PS4, till PS5 comes out, but definitely, I mean, I play pretty much everything. Call of Duty is probably the main game right now. Warzone, yep, Warzone's what everyone's playing right now, and I mean, it's an amazing game. That's kind of just Fortnite. Fortnite changed the world, and Warzone's coming to take it over.
Amazing. And it's been incredible to see how many NFL team owners and so many people who are now getting involved in the world of esports and the whole video game industry. Have you had any conversations, or anyone from the Cardinals talk to you about any of this kind of stuff? They're involved in this in any way?
I mean, they've always said, if you stream or anything, just tell them about it and they'll tweet it out, because, they're always looking for more content. But I mean, I do what I do. I just play video games. It's a good time to hang out with the friends, and with the virus going on right now, I mean, I think it's helped just esports as a whole, because I mean, I turn on ESPN and I see dudes playing 2K on ESPN, and I'm like, this is people are winning basketball back this bad that they'll watch like some gamers. So I mean, the world's changing.
Big time. The world is changing, and it's amazing. It was amazing to sort of, as you said, you turn on ESPN and like, wait a second, is that what's going on here, right?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on? Like, I was in the restaurant with my friends, and I'm like, I think that's 2K right there, and we were like, man, we got to get better so we can get on ESPN.
Well, keep working, and we'll that's another thing we can talk about. I mean, it's amazing. As we were saying earlier, one of the other clients at Rubicon Talent is Emmanuel Sanders, and he does a lot of things, in and around the video game world. He loves it. He's a really big player, and he's real, like he like you, and really loves the game, and
Yeah.
and it's something that loves to play at the highest levels there. So that's just pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Also, you talk a little bit about, and you do some things within the philanthropic world, really trying to help others. With whether it's the Susan G. Komen, breast cancer, awareness, or, some of the other things to help others. I think that I'd love to get your thoughts on, about trying to help others and make this world a better place. I know that's something that's really important to you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was just having a discussion with someone a couple of days ago, but when it comes to, this world and just everything that's going on right now, I feel like, you got to take any opportunity you can to just leave this place better than you found it. And so Susan G. Komen, breast cancer, I lost my mom to breast cancer when I was young, and she was my world. And, my world changed after she passed away. But I always said I would keep that near and dear to my heart, because before, she got diagnosed, you're kind of unaware of like things that don't really have to deal with you. You never think as a 12, 13, 14-year-old, that your mom, Superwoman to me, could like get breast cancer and it would like, just knock her down. And she got breast cancer, but it didn't knock her down. I mean, she got up, she got stronger. We did so many marathons and walks, and she was on the news so many times just talking about, breast cancer. And I think, she taught me and my younger brother and really our whole family, that we have to reach outside our family to help people. And so for me in life, I always just want to help people however I can. So, we started off with Susan G. Komen. That was the first thing I did. But I mean, I definitely want to go further in life with helping people. I mean, there's always a way you can help someone, no matter what it is. Sometimes just a smile in a conversation.
Well, look, I think that's incredible, and really is something that, my team and I at 76 Capital, I know the team at Rubicon, we're all about, wanting to work with the right kinds of people that are smart, that are passionate, that are nice, that really want to change the world and make this world a better place. And you're one of those guys. And it's been awesome, getting an opportunity to talk with you. I think James put up just recently, one of the last pictures of the fact that you were raising money, for your mom and the cause of breast cancer awareness and finding a cure, even when you were training for the for the NFL draft. That's incredible. It's really
always.
Well, listen, we wish you a ton of luck this year. Appreciate your time. I know you got to get back to training, and it's really exciting to have you on our 76 Capital Leadership Series. Wish you, hope you guys have a great season. I know, I can't wait to watch you guys. I think you're gonna, once this season gets going, I think that crew, you and Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, there's gonna be a lot of times on the red zone. I think you're gonna be seeing a lot of you guys in the end zone, man. So
yeah, hopefully.
Well, wish you a ton of luck. Thank you so much for joining our show. Really been great.
Thank you so much for having me. We'll be talking again soon for sure.
Absolutely. So again, for our 76 Capital Leadership Series, I'm Wayne Kimmel, your host. Had a great conversation today with our guest, Hakeem Butler. You can watch this again on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as on Twitter, or subscribe to our 76 Capital channel on YouTube to see all of the shows that we've done, including this show. It's been really great having Hakeem Butler on our show. Thanks to the guys at Rubicon for setting this all up. And Hakeem, have a great season and good luck, and keep making the world a better place, man.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.